Hello everyone. Uh, Unfortunately, maybe interested in today.
So colleagues, let's go start where currently you are and what are current issues. I've seen a discussion about something. We had practice checked also about that topic is the object and and I found out some issues what we have, especially to the platform. And I think this let's say I don't how to say it, I see the issues coming from this strange integration of the balance platform. I think this causes at our side yes, these troubles that we have, that we miss applications, objects, and so on. And Sandra, could you show me the I have some and simplify. Let's start here. But before we get at the question, how is your database access to the organization? Students, can you use it? I myself tried the complex and there was no real purpose to get into there. Yeah, at the moment. Maybe we can summarize that without some joint approach for a problem, I see no way of success. So let's start by practicing short time thing. What is what from my opinions and thoughts. You see, we have on the website we have the NFT file, the NFT and the CFT file. These are the files. On the right side, we have Oliver's. We have a stage tables used where we transfer the data to. And here in main is activity we have what's here, the object and the content. I think that's a that's focus here. And the object containing, I think, things like the car information here. Okay, contents which are linked to by key to state objects to the objects on the right side. Okay. And we implemented Bell platform in ODS by a chart very straight to approach that the transfers data one-to-one from FT to RCF. That's here. That's the flow, the other flow. CFT is quite different. CFT has not logic, also different logic inside, which is this say I think nobody really knows. And when we did the investigation, let's come to the main point. Let's see. Okay, we have just the import to one data. We have the data also in that. Then we have transport to the outer layer, and that is via the mappings. And in this mappings, we maybe can size here. And in one of these mappings, in ODS, a key is generated by an inside hash. That was very helpful. And this MD5 hash, of course, can be it's not by and this here is what check is I don't know my some and this hash is with that database status, which we then transfer to use and which we then transfer on the end. And this key created here is then trying to use the connection to a data or to an object which comes with the platform, which of course can. Yeah, just because, okay, that's a simplification. In reality, it looks like this. And this is iconified form of semantic, just to give you an impression what we are talking about. And you see here that the target of this mapping is safe in the state. And this is a sign to use that that's directly to RCM. The U is like this and contains a lot of logic. I don't know. And that's why I asked you that you access just as data, the database, because many questions can be also answered, especially if you have this stuff inside. If you work with data statements, makes life easier. Okay. From my point of view, we can summarize it. Balanced platform flow and CFT flow are independent from each other. But in the CFT flow, at least one ID is created locally, which is not known in the balanced platform. So there's a link between the right side and RCM cannot be resolved. This is from my point of view. What's your opinion here? But that's my conclusion. Yeah. So this in general, this means that other cannot work. The moment that cannot work. Which means that the application will not be contract. And I think this is our problem that we have. What we had the last deliveries and last processing, where you were missing the expected content, especially the new ones that you wanted to see. I think the other ones you saw already, but you had specific ones, new ones from February, something 10. And we always had a problem. We got not processed, something was missing, and so on and so on. And by that, I think we will still have the problem that we won't get forward this integration of the balance platform. I mean, this is in my idea your goal want to reach. That we have a system that is reliable and precise and also policy, that we get that data. And after that, after we can prove, hey, yes, everything is working fine, then you could also integration thoughts. And I think before we did not, before this is changed on and we have here a linkage to all sides and all parts of the contract. I mean, there is one good news. The good news is that the object ID which is created here is not a sequence but a formula, which you can also use in other places, and I think should create the same result. It should be the same result if you create also in other places like in the balance flow. Or if you provide objects critical data this form. I think that's
Yeah.
Can you just one more time? Because if I
Or go on the CFT on the right side. You see that there is an apple. Okay. And could you please one more time explain why this obvious object type that's fine has generated problem for us?
will you can I hand over to you that calculation is object and concept? I think as I understand for staging, you understand when make false contact to an object.
Yeah.
Which contains
Many conditions. Absolutely, yeah. Mhm. And when you do not have an object, but you have a link to the object, then the system says, hey, there's a foreign thing. Please reject the whole contract. And then you won't see it in Tableau. It will not get processed in core. And then on balance platform, we is the object locally, correct? I don't know if you're missing it, but at least when it arrives in yeah, the funny thing is when it arrives on stage in the contract table. The contract table, there is a link there, so the linkage itself gets created and gets sent, but there is no object in the table. HMIT object. This is the problem. So the generation phase, it will not get sent to RRCM object. But the link is there. This is the it is not missing completely, but the linked object or the linked part in the object is.
That's what ODS is working properly because it's working as designed.
So I think the only solution is that we change that creation. And well, I mean, Sarita, you have to plan it. How long does it take? When will it happen? Etc. I guess you also have to plan this with your activity. How to go on with that? And until we did not solve this issue, we still would have these problems.
I mean, I have some one ideas. And altogether, one idea we can change the key. Here it's a style file. It's a test file, which I can process. The keys, the change information however.
Yeah.
I can in that files and process those files, and then see this was what you then see it in the process.
Yeah, would make sense to at least let's try it because what should happen in this case? It works.
Here, it's possible that we have side effects and which are complex. I would recommend to change it here in the flow balance platform. Use the same form here to change this key, and because the platform blocks are pretty simple, and there can be side effects because that's my idea. And that's the end.
Yeah. Sure.
So
The only thing is that
well, two questions actually. First question,
how come it was working sometimes previously?
and second question
Is
well, Yeah, it's clear that MD5, if it has the same input, most probably the hash will be generated the same concept of MD5 usage for public key infrastructure. etc. So this is the MD5 contract ID main. So this is would be the contract number. So this means that balance platforms should know the contract number. And that's something if the application is contract number. Alexander. Balance platform is our exact contract number. Right? Are you with us?
Unfortunately, I have some problem with the network.
Because that may that the previous implementation platform, this ID was generated. That might be the case. So the idea here would be to implement some kind of ODS object ID generation based on MD5, but in the balanced platform flow. And as I said, as much of what I see that is from product and the line shows from product CSV. So the field C num doc, I don't know which doc it is, but C num doc is the field which is converted to contract matrix and is used in formula. That is what I see. Maybe. Maybe that helps you. Yeah. That's the kind of the technical side of the application. So clearly, you obviously see that it is the contract ID being used, and then in CFT contract there is contract ID see now dog, and num dog is dog as the girl. It's lacking from the Russian. So this is a contract number. It's explicitly the same thing. You're using the contract ID, and here is the actual that contains actually the application number. This should contain. Yeah. So most probably we have to do the logical test actually first, as I think Oliver mentioned. To manually put into the balance platform workflow this object ID to see, to do some kind of the sanity test if this actually works and it's the actual problem. And if it does work, then investigate how the same ID can be generated during the balance platform workflow on this integration layer between all this in and audio.
I mean, we can do this together, because I could take the same load that we had now. IBM will copy this load into a new load ID, and then we could have a look to reprocess it again, completely through everything. We just need to have a look what ID we really need then, that it works, that we get the correct ID for that. It should be the same, yeah, this ODS ID in the object ID, in the object local enclave. Then I think, yeah, we will have, I will have a look today, maybe it takes to Monday that we get a copy of the load. And when we have one, then I can manually create the record. I just then need to see, or I can take the data that we have in the file, because in the file the object was there. It was just not linked correctly. So I could take that data already from this this application, or from the object file that we got from you. Because just let's say it this way: the data is there, but the linkage is not working correctly. So I can take and can use the data that we have and that we got sent in this Excel, and then
ID, which we don't know, it cannot be from Russia. It must be created somewhere else. That you can see by yourself.
Yeah, clear. So maybe at the same time while sending this, maybe you have some check scripts that you are using that you can also. Then for us, it would mean to kind of reverse re-engineer and try to understand what's the query and how. And if you already have something available, that will definitely help us.
No, we have nothing here. It's everything is happening. I have no tools. I have no this fancy AI tool. I have nothing. I have nothing.
That you are writing scripts and you are writing queries, and maybe you have them saved somewhere. You're investigating. No, and then we'll have to repeat the same exercise. No.
With such tricks, you can also check the consistency. If you have the access to the database, you have the equation, you can check the consistency.
No, I'm not 100% sure.
yeah, let's see. But
Yes.
Robert, another question.
Yes.
So you can.
Can see, but we can access what we're line in the context of okay, and where to go. What
Okay. I think maybe we can prepare a workshop. So I think that this is what we could do to have at it and take a look what we can provide to get some information, where is what, and so on, that the guys know where to query the information. But we do not have access to our sim stage, correct?
No, we were only asking for the OS
Okay.
access.
Because this is a topic I could also ask then on my side to get you access also to the int on stage level,
Mhm.
so that you see the latest load and so on and so on. This is a topic we can check, because now with the VDI client and the SQL developer, then I just would need to bring this, I think, to the business colleagues and request then access for you, and this should be then possible too. And then when we have this access, then we could also show you how to use the stage, where the data ends up, whatever, that you see what is going on. Yeah,
The full cycle.
let's do that. I noted that already. I will do that and query this next week.
Wonderful.
Okay, yeah, I can also start next week, but we have next week the visits from Poland. And
Yeah,
I'm quite busy, but I think it's clear to know. One last remark, and to John, next meeting, I think we were successful. I know that some of you were successful in accessing the database. And I think, from Thomas, you got the approval also to access Informatica Powers and to see the mappings. And as I know, and we have to live now for this Powers vendor. And the deadline is extended to the end of the lifetime of the product here at BMW. So it will take a while to talk about the way requirements. And so I can only encourage you to start also to access the power center, because then it's for you independence, it's you needs it means just the only advantages. I would say just try it. Another one, ask for another. The first one worked, maybe this next port release and the firewall works as well. Even if it takes months, it's an advantage.
Great. Good.
And take it with you, please. Also discuss it internally. If you get the database access, and then I think you should get successful access to the Informatica Power Center.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the question. I also asked that my colleagues here, but I don't know if this is possible to licensing topics. I'm not sure about that. Because there were some discussions about is this possible with licensing and using and so on and so on and so on. I need to take this with me, because this is not clear at the moment.
I'm called from the other colleagues. I have to also drop off.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, colleagues. I will write.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.